change, but this is episode 169 of Candid Conversations, and we are here with BenAnthony, artist, creative, and talented individual looking to make a staple or make his name in music. Ben, how you doing? How was your day?
Hola, ¿qué tal, mi gente? What's up? What's up? What a fitting number, 169. Sounds good. Perfect number for a Latino. You know, we're always caliente and stuff. I'm doing great. Been busy in and out of the country doing my work, and I'm just happy to be here with you tonight.
All right, all right. Yeah, I like the way you just fired right out of the gates, just like hot with that energy. That's one thing that I think the Latin culture is very known for, that high intensity energy. And like I just got a spurt of it right there. So I can only imagine how much of it you put into your music.
Oh, yeah.
When did you get your career started? Like how long have you been doing this?
I've been singing in the church choir, right? That's how it started, and then from there, when I was in high school, I met up with some of my homies. Well, I lived in a rural town, so I found solace with the Latinos, and at that time, reggaeton was becoming a thing, and so we got into it. My mom got me a little recording thing, and we did pretty well, and it was a way of us to communicate because it was really hard being Latino in a rural town here in Canada.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure back, a lot of people can relate, but. Basically from there the music just evolved. I had a lot of good opportunities in life, good jobs. I was actually in the military, and the music just kept boom, boom, boom hitting me. So, at some point in my life, I said, I'm just going to do this full time. And, next thing I know, 10 years gone by. And here I am. Here I am doing music still. And it's my passion, my love. It's the only thing I plan on doing for the rest of my life. And just here with a goal, a vision.
All right, let's talk about that military experience for a minute. What was it like being a musician in the military? Like, was there a place for music, or was it something you had to fight to make a place for?
Well, I mean, I think that in the military, I was always really, really good. I think it was the first time in my whole life I ever got like 99 out of 100. Usually, I was all right in school, but I was really, really good. I had cojones, huevos, so I did very, very well. I wasn't bothered. It wasn't that difficult for me. But where the conflict started was actually um, the timing, right? Most of my gigs were on the weekend, so I
Okay.
had to. It was conflicting, and I had to pick one or the other. And then it was consecutive weekends because you can only miss a certain amount of time in the
Oh,
military, right? So I was starting to hit the threshold, and I had to go with the music. It was just my passion, and I'm not really one for taking orders, so I like doing my own thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I have flat feet because that disqualified me from being in the army. Not that I wouldn't go or try to defend the honor and the integrity of our country. But listen, man, listen. If you think you're gonna be barking in my face, telling me to do this, that, and the next thing for someone who doesn't even have the decency to shake my hand before I take a bullet for them, galang.
Exactly.
Straight. So, that's just my mentality. I don't get me wrong. When I see a veterans plate, I salute them, and sometimes I have to drive around. It's just what it is. Um,
Mind you, you'll find that a lot in the music industry too.
yeah, there are a lot of people who have military or military service, we'll call it, that are in entertainment. Like even like I have the WWE Universal title hanging up here. Like there's people like Montez Ford, John Cena,
Yeah,
Randy Orton. All of those guys were in the army. So
yeah,
it's like it's crazy to see what like what the army can create, kind of thing.
yeah. It does teach a lot of discipline. I will give you that. Keep your mind kind of level headed, and you kind of just apply that to whatever you're doing, and it does help. It does help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But why is it upside down?
I always love when people ask that question because I work on a podcast with a friend of mine named James Owen Brown, and the podcast is called Me and the Boys Wrestling. So the M the W is turned upside down for the M. So whenever anybody asks me why it's upside down, it's a segue to promote Me and the Boys Wrestling. We just did our free preview last week. It was called Backlash. Basically, without ruining it, if you go to James Owen Brown on YouTube and check it out, there was an invasion of sorts, a sweet invasion of sorts. It was too sweet. If
and
you
what
ask me.
James what?
James Owen Brown.
James Owen Brown. Okay.
James Owen Brown, yeah. On YouTube. And then it has a Me and the Boys playlist.
Yeah.
If you check that out, it'll show you the 6 seasons of Me and the Boys Wrestling. The most recent episode that's dropping tomorrow was just recorded yesterday, but the most recent one that's available for viewing is on right now. It's called Backlash. It's a pay-per-view of mass proportions.
And you guys are actually wrestling?
No, what we do is what he did was he took the WWE 2K23 engine and he created characters with likeness to to a few people like myself, himself. There's about 40 characters. There's about 40 global characters. So we got people from the UK like Gail, and we got people from the UK like Gail. We got artists from all over the world and Niagara.
Well, man, if you're ready to get down, you make one of me, and I'll make sure that I put in my piece there.
My guy, I was hoping you'd say that because we don't have enough of a Latin presence out there. I'm telling you honestly, we could use someone who has that mucho caliente.
The luchador style is something really cool in wrestling that I think it's not spoken about as much. Actually, one of my favorites, Shawn Michaels, he going off topic, but he was amazing, and he was a small guy going championship wrestling, but his luchador style really helped him. Was really athletic, but he matched it really well. You'd never think, right? But Jose Lothario, his trainer, was coming from that.
Yes. I remember that whole thing right there. And around here, wrestling's never off topic. So do me a favor though, since you got your phone right there with you, just leave a message on there and say you want to get involved, and he will respond right back to you. He'll be back to you within the day or so, and we will definitely have that set up.
Awesome. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Where do I leave the message? Right here on the rest stream?
No, James, go to James Owen Brown on
him.
YouTube.
Okay.
And leave a message on the most recent video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be super dope because like I said, like as artists we need to, use our talents to benefit each other. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And this is something where anytime you have a match, and if you have ideas for your character and things like that, you can submit them to him. He's more than open to taking character direction. Like it's almost like Dungeons and Dragons with WWE. Literally, like we have a group chat where people will walk in, like it'll be like you'll see the asterisk walks into a room, smacks someone with cookie, exits. You know what I mean? Someone else will comment like, wakes up from getting smacked by cookie, questioning his own life's intentions.
There you go. It's gonna be really interesting, and but like you said, everyone's gotta support each other. We see that with Bad Bunny, right? In the WWE, he did his thing, and that he was coming from the music into that. WWE wrestling has become such a thing with entertainment, and I think that's what's also happened with some of the Latin music. It almost feels like it's sold out a bit, but in these days, you got to expand, and it just brings you to the whole different things. Like, look at this, I might have a character made for me.
Yeah. So it's not Mike, bro. Send that comment, and you will have a character made for you.
There you go.
It will take a couple. The only thing it'll take a couple of weeks to incorporate the character because we want to make sure you get a good entrance. You know what I mean? We don't want to just throw you in there and say, "Oh, here's BenAnthony." Nah, we want to give you like that WWE superstar, that MATV superstar introduction. You know what I mean? Like it might be a run-in. You know what I mean? You might interfere with a match all of a sudden. You might just appear backstage standing like this or something like this, just as a scene. You know what I mean? But like, trust me, we'll get you incorporated into it, and it'll be something that it'll promote you as an artist, it'll promote us as a brand, and it'll promote everybody that's a part of it.
But you know what's cool about this is like you see people's desires and intentions, and I think in the '90s we saw a lot of this degeneracy, and like it was fun to poke fun at certain things, or like
Yeah.
do these little pranks that slap a cookie, and you're just not able to really do that in real life. You got to really tiptoe. So I
Yeah.
mean, you saying this, it makes me want to go to somebody's uh concert or event, and maybe not slap them with a cookie, but it would have been fun to interact with other artists and in their performance in their venue, and not in a bad malicious way. I don't mean that, but that interaction between artists.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to bring it back into music, I feel like that's lost, and that's part of that drama that doesn't exist between local artists, international artists within their own community. Something that really doesn't happen in Canada. So I'm looking forward to interact in this world with you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm telling you, like we have international poets and authors. We have world-renowned lyricists. We have one guy owns a coffee company. One guy is in a band in the States. One guy is like Scottish and like rugged Scottish, kilt wearing Scottish rugged, like you know what I mean? Just you know what I mean? It's insane the dynamic that of talent that's actually involved with this thing. Like, I mean, we got guys like Johnny Armani, who's an artist from Buffalo, and his cousin Murs Frazier is a part of it as well. Their boys, T Money Gang and HB Jizzle.
Yeah.
Talking about HBK earlier. You know, he's HBJ. You know what I mean? He's in there, and like there's a whole bunch of people that, you know what I mean, are featured, and when they're in the matches, we talk about their latest endeavors. So if you put that in the group chat, we'll be able to talk about what you're doing and get that stuff. Like Memoirs of a Mustache is holding a poetry night next week.
Oh, so it works as a network.
Yeah, it's its own universe.
We need more of that. Lord knows that.
Definitely. So
where are you located?
Me right now, I'm located in Welland, Ontario, Canada, which is I'd say about 15 minutes from Niagara Falls.
Nice. I was just there today.
Oh, okay. Night. Next time you're around these ways, give me a shout, bro.
Exactly. I will, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
And how is the Latino crowd over there? There's
To be honest, they're few and far between. It's like out here in Niagara's, I want to call it traditional country.
Yeah.
without saying too much, that's what Niagara's like. It's just it's like the preservation of old Canada.
Yeah. And you're smack in the middle of it, eh?
Right in the middle of it. They don't know what to do with me.
And then they put us together, and it's gonna be a wow.
Oh, buddy. If you're not busy, June 17th, you gotta come down to Niagara Falls. We're doing this thing called Expose the North on stage. We have about 14 artists coming down from all around the general area. They're coming from Buffalo, they're coming from Michigan, they're coming from Toronto, they're coming from Niagara, and they're gonna be performing on stage. And then afterwards, we're gonna have a gathering. We're gonna have like a soiree of sorts where people are gonna get to congregate and talk to each other about their businesses and their aspirations and things like that, which is something you can't do when the music's bumping at 120 decibels.
No, you can't. And that's something I used to love to talk. A lot of people want to talk to you before you perform and stuff, and I can't do it anymore. Like I gotta protect the voice, especially as you grow old, that you become more. Well, for me, I've chosen more the live avenue. I perform my band and stuff like that. And now performing for like 45 minutes an hour, I just can't waste the voice on talking. So I'm glad that you do it that way.
Yeah, definitely. It's like this is probably the most I do live. And then like if I have a show, there's so many things that you have to do. Like 2 days before, you got to get the fluids up, because if you start drinking the day of, you're just going to be waterlogged. You know what I mean? I have this regimen where I think I got this from Andre 3000, where if I know I'm performing, I'm walking around or jogging around and I'm singing my music, singing the song that I'm performing while I'm jogging, so it doesn't sound, so you can't hear that I'm jogging. And when I get to that point, then I know I can perform it. You know what I mean?
That's a good tip.
Yeah. The breathing exercises, like getting a textbook or like a light weight and putting it on my diaphragm and just laying on my back and taking deep breaths. That's like I can. Holy. So, as an example, there's a stalling suplex in wrestling that we do. And anytime they do the stalling suplex, I'm able to go you know what I mean? Without any hesitation, no wavering in the breath, nothing.
Just give it. Get it up to your level.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I got it. I mean, like, hey, there's not everybody, but the thing is, everybody has their own niche. Everybody has their own craft. What would you say your trademark is, if you will?
Well, right now, I mean, what I'm doing is I'm composing it from scratch, right? And most, if not all these, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But the creative process, I've learned to accept it more, but it's draining. For me, it's draining because I'm constantly transmitting. I get into my areas. I don't like to be bothered. I don't talk to much people, not even my family. And these stories, I go through them. Sometimes they'll actually be happening, and then I just hear all the sounds, and then you got to put it all together, and then I record it on a voice note, and then I gotta undo it and do instrument by instrument, and just stay true to the story, which is easy because it's actually happening. So, and I think that's what I really want to convey with the Latino music coming out of Canada is that I want to bring the power back to the artists, right? I'm sick and tired of trying to do things and people are like, no, you got to do it this way. You go to a producer and they're like, you need to sound like this if you want something. Then you go and you do exactly what they want and you get nothing. Yep. So you know what? Might as well leave something behind, which is my legacy, my story, my music, my compositions, instead of trying to sound something that at the end, hey, that's not a guarantee that you're gonna hit. So and bringing back the musicality. One of the issues I was having with recording digitally, like everything with the synths and all, the programs, was that in my head it just seems very choppy and it seems like all the sections are just like it's predictable in my head.
Yeah.
When it's a real live person playing the bass, even though now the sounds sound really real, but it's not the same as a human being. Never. And that's something very important in this era with this chatty AG or chat GPT, where they're saying that you can make these songs sound exactly like it's not. I can tell. I can just it's a feeling. You can't lose that human aspect.
It's polyphonic.
Yeah, and just so many of these artists are just making music and they're pushing it. Good for them. They're branding it. But it's all very generic and mechanical, and it's maybe not even truthful, right? So that's why this chat, AI thing can mimic it, because if a human's giving all their passion, their love in something, I truly believe it cannot be mimicked.
Exactly. Yeah, like those AI commercials, they just feel soulless.
Yeah, for a real artist, a musician, that's not gonna feed the soul.
Yeah, no, you're talking to someone who, like, the first time I stepped on stage, I was 4 years old. You know what I mean? And I've been doing this for 35 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So and I'm not saying AI doesn't have a place. It's just it still needs to know its place. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like that mumble rap genre. Okay, you can tag on to hip hop, even though we want to forsake you for your blatant disrespect for the craft. But because everybody associates you with hip hop, we'll take you as our distant cousin cyst. Okay. But but that doesn't make you hip hop. You're just kind of associated with it. And that's what's happening right now. It's like they want, like, I'm going over my head. I'm like 355 episodes of the Terrell Effect, 169 episodes of Candid Conversations. How many Latin Canadian artists have I interviewed? or Latin American artists have I interviewed? Bro, I need you to open that channel for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, this is the thing, man. And I pride myself with my music because I kept it traditional, and I'm able to sustain myself with going out of Canada. The music, it's consumed by the masses, especially in festivals and stuff like that, and that's
mhm.
kind of what gives me my strong point. But when here in Canada, the issue is that the urban music, which is hitting, is popular, is basically the Latinos got lazy. They take the urban music and they just put Spanish lyrics on top of it. There's not much of a change, and that's why these guys are dropping like flies. These
Oh,
artists, they don't last too long, man. And they're pretty talented, but there's no market for them. I mean, and even it's getting boring. And as a Latino to hear this urban stuff, where's the flavor? Where's the sass? But I hope that I can open doors for some stability and for the future for these artists, and then they're all yours, man.
so who would you say are prominent artists of the Latin sect to look for in Canada?
Well, you see, that's a really cool question. I noticed a pattern with the younger generation, right? They don't. I remember when I was coming in, there's figures, and I worked with them all, right? And I respected them. I went out to look out for. I went to look for them to work with them, and they did. Thank you. And there's people. There's like Fito Blanco, Sensei, and there was Pedro y Asesino. There was Baby Yankee, Loco Guanaco. These are all like the first. These are the immigrant coming from Latin America. They were here. They're making like their music, and I was first generation, so I admire them. Now the thing is, like with these kids, when they were coming out, I can see them. They're very good on their social medias. Me, I came from selling CDs, giving out CDs and stuff. I would look for them like, yo, let's do a project. Let's keep this, relevant. And these guys would say, yeah, 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 and they wouldn't follow through. And I was just like, how the times have changed. Because before, if one of those artists were to come to me, I'd be like, oh man, thank you. You paved the path. I respect you, and that's been lost now. So right now, I don't the OGs that I spoke with, they're still doing their thing. And as for the new generation, because they didn't become part of this movement, I would just say I'm giving enough material just to focus on what I'm doing there, and keep that as a standard, and just watch out for what I'm doing. And it sounds like greedy or egotistical, but it's to save the culture, right? Like,
Not at all. Not if you are confident in your capacity and you can back up your talents. There's nothing arrogant about that. There's a lot of people out there talking sauce. I mean, like, I like literally like I'm getting to the point where I can just say like I can start my podcast, say okay, welcome to episode 356, and just walk off. You know, just walk out.
you should. There's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I might do that for an episode. Just
That'll be
to
hilarious.
Oh man! But what I usually do when we get to the halfway point of either show, either the 12 Effect or Candid Conversations, is I like to flip the script. When
Okay.
I flip the script, I give the guest the opportunity to be the host and ask whatever questions they may have or make any statements they may want to make. So, BenAnthony, you have the floor as we flip the script.
Okay. I'd like to ask you. Do you think that the Junos, the most prestige award you could perceivably get here in Canada, do you
Mhm.
think that they should include a Latin music genre category? Best Latin song of the year, Canadian Latin music song for the year.
Why haven't they yet? Fun fact: I don't think they have one for reggae either.
They do have reggae. They have reggae.
They have reggae?
I think they have reggae. Yeah.
Are you sure it's not world music?
I think they have reggae now.
They have reggae now.
I
The last
think.
time I looked at it, they didn't. But it's been a couple of years since I've looked at it.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
mean,
reggae.
I appreciate the intentions. I just don't have patience for the politics. I don't. And I'm saying that now, knowing that I might crucify myself. But guess what? I have. So I'll get whatever award I'm entitled to when I'm entitled to that award. Like you know what I mean. If they had an award for like people who work behind the scenes, I'd probably get one of those.
Huh.
I
I You see, but this is the thing. So like you look into, I mean, obviously they're gonna stereotype Latinos and say they're gardeners or something like that. But you look in, you have all these cultures. It's a multicultural
Diaspora.
country, right? But
Yeah.
what Latinos strive on is the entertainment, is our music, and so for my people, I believe it's very important to get that category up there. It's not just for the music; it's actually like a cultural movement because that's how we express ourselves. Without that, I mean, Latinos are in, just kind of slowly veering off because they just latch into stronger cultures that are here, and without our music, we're not, nothing. I believe.
And that's a great, like, music. You're the pace, the timbre, the cadence. Just there's nothing like. I mean, like, you can salsa if you know how to salsa or tango or merengue or
Mhm.
you know what I mean, or rumba. You can do that to any genre of song.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, and like that's one of the things I'm saying to say about how diverse the Latin culture is. You know what I
Hmm.
mean, and I, bro, like, sorry, forgive my ignorance, but tacos, come on,
So good, and a
like,
lot a lot of our foods mashed as well. Like
yes,
it's
quesadillas, bro,
yeah.
quesadillas are I don't know why I don't make them more often, but those, trust me, man, it's like, and I find when I eat the spicier foods, like the Latin culture foods, like you don't have the cardiovascular clogging, like
Yeah,
you're breathing better, you know what I mean? You don't have that, like, you sweat a little bit more, but you don't have the
get
clogged
it out.
pores and everything. You get all the sickness out.
Exactly, and but with the dancing, you bring up a good point too, because I've been watching it. Sometimes I watch, these top charting artists from, North America, and I watch the performances, and it's always like they come out hype. They start up with a song. It's like no, 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 no. Everyone's like, oh my gosh! It's like
Mm-hmm.
they know the hook, and then it comes to the verse part, and then everyone's just like stuck with their phones.
Yep.
And then the hook again, bah, nah, nah,
Yep.
and then done. So I mean, music should make you move, and
Yes.
weird thing going on with music today. I'll tell you that much.
It's more putting people into a trance. I find it's like it's trying to numb the brain, and like I remember okay, and I mentioned this because I had a war against capitalism a few years ago, and I was added on Twitter by Chuck D, which is like a crowning achievement. But yeah, like songs like "Fight the Power" and "Harder Than You Think" and you know what I mean? Like where they're actually talking about the plight and the struggle and how to overcome it. And now, like, I'm sorry, and I have no problem with them. But what are you learning from a wet ass pussy? I just want to know.
I don't know because you know what? It just becomes so numb. It doesn't. It's lost its in Spanish it's sentido. It's meaning. You lose
Yeah.
your meaning. That's the thing. Music should make you feel, and
Yes.
Spanish music makes you want to move. But other cultures, they might make you feel something else. There's that poetry rap I love sometimes.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That makes you think with the lyrics. And
If
that's
you,
what hip hop used to do. Like, Biggie and all those times, it's like, man, they're
yeah.
actually speaking. You feel it. And now I'm just listening to this music. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? My body, my penile gland doesn't
Yeah.
do anything.
If you like that style of rap, that poetry rap,
Mm-hmm.
definitely got to check out James Owen Brown's playlist.
Okay.
He got poetry on there and performances and stuff like that. He is a powerhouse. He's a grand champion of poetry, I think 2 times over in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's done his thing, man. He's got like the pop culture. He's got like a pop culture vibe, but at the same time, it's not cheesy. You know how people can make it all cheesy and corny?
Yeah.
Nah, this guy does it in a way that makes you want to listen to more.
Yeah.
So do us a favor, do yourself a favor, check it out. He's got a project with DUI right now under the moniker Someone Else, and it's called the track's called Cinderella.
Okay.
I don't think they knew that was my grandmother's name when they made that song.
Oh, you fucked up then, eh?
And if they did, kudos. But yeah, no, it's a deep song. It's like what do they say? Alexis on Fire meets Autotune.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely check that out then.
Yeah. So Yeah, I know you said you have some things that you got to handle. We are on the Village Global Network, syndicated to, at last count, 113 plus countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the Village Global Network, we make the network. This is Candid Conversations. I am the Block. We have been speaking with BenAnthony. Is there anything you'd like to say or anyone you want to shout out before we head out?
Bueno, hola, ¿qué tal mi gente? Siguen luchando que la música nuestra va a conquistar a todo este país, Canadá. Latin music is coming here mainstream. You go grocery shopping, you go to the gym, you go anywhere, you're going to hear Latin music. But those Latin artists are not from Canada. So it's now time that Canada's music industry starts backing us up so we can flourish in what we love and deserve to do. Not only for us, but for you. Music is our gift to the world. I love you all. Thank you for having me. It was amazing. I love how you talk about real stuff. I feel you, brother. And let's just keep this movement going.
Yeah,
As long
man.
as I'm alive, this thing is never going to stop. Okay, my album's called Aunque Me Mate. I love you all, mi gente. Os quiero mucho.
All right, all right. So I'm going to invite you back to the Terrell Effect when you have more time, and we'll feature some of your music, and we'll drop some more rhymes.
Sounds good, Bobby.
All right, fam. Bless up, kid.
Bless up. Bye, ciao.
All right. So that was BenAnthony. Got to shout out Sasha Stoltz for the connect. You know what I mean? We're in the building. It is Candid Conversations. I know you see the Terrell Effect banner in the background. That's the background. We are coming around to that just now. This Saturday, check us out. Next Saturday, we are going to be at Camp Cataract, 4317 Queen Street, Niagara Falls, Expose the North, on stage, bringing you the latest from the soon-to-be greatest. If you're in the room, it will change your status, and you've got to find some of these songs and add them to your playlist. As I said, this is The Block. We were talking to BenAnthony. This is on the VGN. Shout out to the network, the syndication, and all those who are part of it. Bless up, Block out.